My name's Jenny Brooks. Welcome to Worship at Home for the Northampton Methodist Circuit. The lectionary this week gives us the Gospel reading from John, in which Jesus reminds his disciples of his commandment to love one another as he has loved them. We understand that this is a commandment to us too. And then we have a reading from Acts, that's the end of the story about Peter and Cornelius, reminding us just how powerful God's Spirit is and how unpredictable. Being a follower of Jesus is in many ways very simple. Believe in Jesus as the Son of God and keep his commands. But the living of this faith is so much more complex than that summary. The disciple Peter was finding this as he made his way in the world after Jesus' death. And in Acts 10, Peter has to face the reality that his understanding of what Jesus meant about telling the world and loving one another was much too narrow. Peter had had a vision of all these kinds of food coming down in a blanket, food that he thought was unacceptable to God and unacceptable to eat. But the angel was telling him that he should eat these things. And after this vision, Peter is asked to go to the home of a Roman captain called Cornelius. And whilst he's there, he shares the message about Jesus with Cornelius and his household. And as Peter brings this message, the people listening were filled with the Holy Spirit. And this shocked the Jewish people there. They thought that this blessing was reserved only for those who were of the Jewish faith and had performed all the appropriate rituals. So not only has Peter to challenge his own thinking, but he's helping his peers to widen their understanding of what Jesus meant about making new disciples. And so on returning to Jerusalem, Peter is challenged about why he baptized all these Gentiles. And his answer is that what was he to do but follow the Holy Spirit? With our perspective of time and theological reflection, it's clear that Jesus meant the good news of God's love to be accessible to everyone. However, we have our own lack of openness and our view about what is and what is not acceptable within the church, and who isn't acceptable to God. Many people, for all kinds of reasons, feel unwanted, unloved, unwelcome within our worshipping communities. Peter had to step out of his lifelong understanding about faith and God and who was acceptable and who wasn't, in order to bring God's love to Cornelius and his household. So my challenge to us all is, where is God calling us, you, me, to be, to do, or to go? And what is God calling us to change?